Hello there, peeps. Black Panther, spelled with two N's, Entertainment, welcomes you to my show. I am Red Raven, spelled with an I. Today we have a list of topics to go over, and I actually wrote down my talking points, but I will not be using that as a teleprompter like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Instead, I just use it for talking points I don't want to forget because they are important to me. So let's begin. Guy buys Tesla just to destroy it. Here's the video. Take a look.
Armed with a pickaxe and sledgehammer, these two fellas went to town on this Tesla.
We don't like what Elon Musk is doing.
This man would only give me his first name.
Greg.
But says he actually owns the white Model S.
I bought it just to destroy it.
And Greg says he coordinated the stunt with his friends because he doesn't like Musk.
Tesla supports fascism.
So, all in a nutshell, Elon Musk made money off of your stupidity. Got it. Okay. Guy goes viral and then gets arrested after destroying another guy's Tesla vehicle. Take a look.
Really thought you was gonna get away. You're the dude on TikTok that Keitha Tesla. Yo, I found you. I found you, dog. Yo, you're wearing the same outfit, bro. You didn't even change clothes, man.
Tesla.
You're the guy on TikTok.
Recently vandalized a Tesla parked at a Costco. This video has already been viewed hundreds of thousands of times. It was posted to a Tesla Facebook group 3 days ago and has since been reposted on several platforms, showing the moment a man parks next to that Tesla, gets out wearing a dark jacket with USA on it. He walks back and forth before appearing to key the car. We're blurring his face because he hasn't been charged with anything criminal yet. It happened at the parking lot of the Costco on Center Road. San Jose police arrested the suspect Monday afternoon, the police chief calling it a senseless crime.
Elon Musk, as we know, is very intelligent. He is the Einstein of our generation. So it should be of no surprise that he would think about putting video cameras throughout his Teslas. Good job on getting locked up. Okay. The JFK files have been released since Tuesday. So far, it's 8,000, sorry about that, pages long. Questions are circling the internet about the CIA's special interest in Lee Harvey Oswald, and some may be speculating that he did not defect to the Soviet Union, that he was actually a CIA intelligence operative, allegedly. Michelle Obama has her own podcast. Actually, it's a failing podcast. Even though I don't know if I get any viewers at all, I'm not famous. She has a failing podcast, and she does a lot of complaining about said husband, Barack Obama. Take a look.
Years in the White House without my big brother. That's another sort of unusual aspect to our lives, our relationship, was this whole, being married to the president of the United States thing.
Yeah.
that none of us kind of banked on. I mean, we knew Barack was smart and, ambitious, but, I think, but you talked me into supporting his run.
I did.
And
I
he
did.
was smart enough to know that he needed to come to you and sell you on the idea.
Barack came to me and he's like, I can't convince your sister to go along with this. And I'm like, whoa, go along with what? And it's like, I think I'm going to run for president. And I was like, what? I convinced.
We have to first understand what their motivations are. I think we have to understand what they're actually doing. And
You don't
I think that's
it's
important.
racism and misogyny?
I think there's a lot of that, but I don't think it's exclusively that. When you talk to a guy like Steve Bannon, he reminded me a little bit of my grandfather when he talks about working folks and he talks about how we hollowed out the industrial core of this country.
But he
I understand that. But so we can dismiss the notion of election denialism. We could completely dismiss what he did on January 6th, but I don't think you can dismiss what he's saying. Reminds me a lot of what Bernie Sanders was saying. Reminds me a lot of what Democrats said 20, 30 years ago. I mean, he's arguing against.
The duo also discussed the notion of masculinity that is propagated by the right. Let's take a look.
This notion of masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
My message to Tim Walz, being a MAGA Trump supporter, is even I can take him on, and his beta ass will lose. It is what it is. Governor Tim Walz, and I use the word governor loosely, is trying his luck at stand-up comedy. Take a look.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So
Elon Musk, in a retort, had this to say about it on Twitter.
Waltz tweeting, if you need a little boost, look at Tesla stock. Musk tweeted in return, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House, J.D. Vance being the vice president, and I thank the Lord, Elon Musk said. Liz.
Tesla has become a political target of violent riots and destructions by critics of its founder, Elon Musk, over his work at the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, under President Trump. Since January, Tesla vehicles, dealerships, and factories have been attacked by unhinged anti-Musk and unhinged anti-Trump activists in the following cities and states: Salem, Oregon, January 20th and February 19th. Loveland, Colorado, January 29th and February 24th. Owings Mills, Maryland, March 2nd. Littleton, Massachusetts, March 3rd. Tigard, Oregon, March 6th and 13th. North Charleston, South Carolina, March 7th. Seattle, Washington, March 9th. Dedham, Massachusetts, March 11th. Kansas City, Missouri, March 17th. Las Vegas, Nevada, March 18th. AutoPen. It seems to be coming out that a lot of people may have had access to it, allegedly. Come on now. And we're not so sure that a lot of these preemptive pardons for Joe Biden are legit, that they may be null and void. He may not know about the Dr. Fauci pardons or the Cheney pardons or any other pardons. I'm thinking he probably knew only of Hunter Biden's, but that was it. But here is some videos of showing that he had no idea of what is going on. Take a look.
It looked like we had an auto pen for a president, and we would have been better off if we had, probably. The whole subject of auto pen, did he know what he was doing? Did he authorize it? Or is this somebody in an office, maybe a radical left lunatic, just signing whatever that person wants?
I feel sorry for Joe Biden. I mean, he's in the twilight years of his life. He is not, obviously has not been in charge for some time. And I know this by personal observation, and now the whole world knows it. And it's been very, very concerning to me over the last, in October 2023. And there were all sorts of big national security concerns and everything going on. And I started requesting a meeting with the president because, I'm kind of old school. I'm a constitutional law guy. The Speaker of the House should be able to talk to the president, especially in times of great national interest and calamity. But they wouldn't let me meet with him. And his staff kept giving me excuses. This went on for like 8 or 9 weeks. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, he doesn't have time. What are you talking about? I'm second in line of the presidency. He has time. I need to talk to him. We had, I can't say the classified parts, but we had some big national concerns at the time that I was losing sleep over. Finally, I just went to the Hill Press Corps and I said, the president is not being allowed to meet with the speaker. There's a problem. So they started putting pressure on him. Long story short, they finally relented. They invited me to the White House. I show up and I realize it's actually an ambush because it's not just me and the president. It's also Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem, the CIA director, everybody. And then, so I walked in the Oval and, I know what this is. They're going to hotbox the speaker on Ukraine funding. That's what it was. This is probably third week of January. We sit down, we're in the midst of it, and the whole conversation, and I'm going, we don't need to have this conversation. The president reaches over just like this. We're sitting right next to the fireplace in the Oval, and he grabs my arm and he says, the speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Would y'all just leave us alone? And I looked up on the faces of some of the staff standing around the wall, and they're like, oh, no, he did it. So he called it. He's the commander-in-chief. So everybody leaves, and he and I are standing awkwardly in the middle of the Oval Office right over the rug by that coffee table. And I said, Mr. President, thanks for the moments. This is very important. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about that I've heard, and I think you know, and what do we do? But first, real quickly, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? I don't understand, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, And he looks at me stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President, respectfully, could I go out here and ask your secretary to print it out? We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas. Yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed. And I walked out of that meeting with fear and loathing because I thought, we're in serious trouble. Who is running the country? I don't know who put the paper in front of him, but he didn't know.
Hapless anti-Musk activist sets himself on fire after attacking South Carolina Tesla charging station with Molotov cocktails. Trump has signed into executive order to get rid of the U.S. Department of Education, and I'm going to show you why this is such a necessary step. Here we go.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked. Yup. I'm going to be leaving the U.S. and I'm going to be moving to Hawaii. So we'll see how it goes.
This is why we need to get rid of the Department of Education. And skipping to the next subject, Bernie Sanders mentioned fighting the oligarchy. Take a look.
Today, we are here to say very loudly and clearly. No, we will not accept an oligarchic form of society where a handful of billionaires run the government. No.
Nancy Pelosi, salary $223,000, net worth $202 million. Mitch McConnell, $200,000, net worth $95 million. Chuck Schumer, salary $210,000, net worth $75 million. Elizabeth Warren, salary $285,000, net worth $67 million. Bernie Sanders, salary $375,000, net worth $3 million. So, double standard here, maybe? Because according to average people like you and me, I see them as an oligarchy too. So this concludes my podcast of the day. So until then, I'll see you on the flip side.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!